Hello everyone and welcome to the Adventures of Brendo, where you can follow along with me on my weekly adventures. This week I went to Umstead Park. It was a very pretty drive, all the way to my first stop, which was the visitor center. So I laced up my shoes and headed on over. On the way I found these pretty little cinnabar mushrooms. They're very tasty with a little kick. Look at those. Very pretty mushrooms. They're very tasty little mushrooms, but I didn't take any because this is a state park. A little spoiler alert, later on I found some more chanterelles, some golden chanterelles on the trail, so the mushrooms were really out in full force on this hike. After talking to someone at the visitor center and grabbing a map, I decided to go on the Sycamore Trail Loop, which is right there. So I got back in my car and I headed that way. Packed up my bag. We were ready to hike. The trailhead was easy enough to find. Just follow the signs right out of the parking lot. There were some nice picnic shelters on the way to the trailhead. I found the first blaze and I set off on the trail. Got my feet wet early on with a little creek crossing. The start of the trail felt pretty secluded once you got on the trail a little bit, but you could hear planes rolling by. You're pretty close to RDU Airport on this trail, but they weren't too bad. Some of them got pretty loud, but later on in the trail you don't really hear them that much, so that was nice. Took a little detour off trail pretty early on to check out this clearing that I saw. It was nice. A lot of the rest of the trail you don't really get big clearings like this, so it's good to go see what's in here. I think I scared a couple little robins over here. I saw a nice little shaded area that could be a good potential future picnic spot. I saw some pretty flowers out there, some daisy fleabane, and a pretty little purple Carolina wild petunia. So I hopped back on trail and I hiked on for a good little while. Till I got to this next clearing, which was next to this pretty creek. It was nice to see the sun after being in the woods for so long. And this trail runs along a really nice creek for a lot of it. You get to see a lot of creek coverage. You got to see some cool fish in the creek too. Saw this little catfish dancing around, which was pretty cool. With the creek and all the fishes, there were also some really nice bridges on this trail. Like this one, and this one. And wait for it. That one over there. I love a good bridge when I'm hiking. One of the bridges was broken, which was a little bit sad, but easy enough to get around. Then I saw my favorite bridge on this trail. No, not that one. This one. I love a good natural bridge, and this looked like a nice place to take a little break after a few miles into trail. So I very carefully made my way across this log and found a nice little spot to sit down. I hung out here for a little while and just listened to the creek. Then I very quickly made my way back over to the trail and got back to hiking. I kept on hiking, but about halfway through the loop I turned myself around. So I ended up doing a little bit more distance on this hike, but I didn't get to see the full loop. So I'll have to go back another day to see what I missed. Here's a picture of the path I took on my hike, so you can get an idea of what I mean. This trail was supposed to be about 7.2 miles, so I went a little bit further, but I don't mind. And I also got to see this cool tree, which made it worth it. Look at all those cool burls going up all the way up that tree. That's all for now. See you all next week.